I'm tired. I'm honest to God tired. I am really tired of game journalists making articles of how Cuphead is hard. I'm sure you guys are. But right now, it looks like they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that difficult games are turned significantly easier. And now they use the worst shield to use. Now, they're using disabled people. That's right. They're using disabled people as a shield and an excuse for game developers to make games easier for them. No, not a chance. Not a goddamn freaking chance. When the Git Good mentality turns ableist. This article basically uses disabled people to say, hey, some gamers cannot do certain things. We need to make games more and more inclusive. That's why we need to have easier modes. This is incredibly patronizing for a couple of reasons. First off, you don't care about disabled people at all. You don't. You just use them as a shield the same way you use minorities or women as shields. If you do, then you wouldn't make this article. Do you know why? Because almost every disabled person that I encountered despise you. They don't want you to coddle them. They want you to treat them as equals. And this isn't you treating them as equals. This is you looking down at them and say, oh, poor disabled person, do you need my help?
It's not ableist to like Cuphead or be good at Cuphead, but it's ableist to insist that we shouldn't lower the access barriers for those who have limitations.
Actually, you know what's even more ableist? Using disabled people to justify lower difficulties for able-bodied people. From this article, you have disabilities yourself, but do you know the kinds of people that complain about game difficulties and requiring them to be easier? Able-bodied people. Physically, at least. You're using disabled people as a way to make games easier. Not for disabled people, but for able-bodied people. You don't care about disabled people. You care about able-bodied people who cannot get good in games because they hate their job. That's why you use disabled people as a shield, and that idea alone is horrendously ableist.
As for how to better support people with disabilities, there are many things developers can do, some of which are already widely in use. Skippable levels, varying difficulty levels, remappable control schemes, support for disability-friendly controllers and accessories are all good. These suggestions are opt-in and don't take anything away from the game.
As Alpha Omega Sin said, if you have skippable levels, why bother even playing the game? What's the point of playing a game if you're going to skip it? Now, if you're talking about repeating a mission, you want to skip the driving sessions like in GTA San Andreas, for example, yeah, that's fine. That removes some tediousness, but skipping the actual meat of the challenge? How is that beneficial? Don't even compare that with varying difficulty levels or remappable control schemes. That's not even the same thing.
And for titles like Cuphead, whose identity doesn't rely on its challenging action alone, it would give players a chance to enjoy the many other wonderful things, like music and art style, that makes the game what it is.
Go watch a Let's Play then. Jesus.
In the end, this is all a very convoluted way to say that games are supposed to be fun, and we should stop being so hard on each other. The medium only stands to gain if games are more accessible to other people.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. In order for games to be more and more accessible to more and more people, it has to be dumbed down to the most filthy casual levels imaginable. And we don't want games to do that. We want games to challenge and hitting a certain demographic instead of a vague, everyone should be included, so let's make every game to be like Bejeweled or something. I don't want you to ask game developers to change core mechanics of certain games just because you don't feel included. That's not the solution. You're abusing your power as a game journalist to make suggestions to unsuspecting game developers to make games easier. Again, Cuphead sells millions of copies in the first 2 weeks. Clearly, an exclusionist title. I hate to bring the same points over and over again. I hate to do videos about this topic over and over again. But game journalists are not tired of doing it. And they will find brand new excuses, brand new shields to the point where it becomes genuinely insulting. The fact that they have to use disabled people to make games easier for able-bodied people makes me sick.
In the future, it'd be nice to see developers and publishers take a more active role in destigmatizing these accessibility options and take a stronger stand. And one way we can support that is by starting with a community that knows how to celebrate achievement without it being at the expense of others.
It's actually pretty funny. Throughout this article, you've mentioned disabled people who complain that games need to be more accessible. That's great and all, and I respect their opinion, but there are some disabled people who disagree with you. You want to celebrate achievements? Let's celebrate achievements. There was a blind guy who managed to beat Zelda after 5 years of trying. This person beats Dark Souls, and not only he is disabled, but he disagrees with your article. Broly Legs is one of the best Street Fighter players, and he can crush able-bodied players with his mouth. Here's a Killer Instinct player who overcome his disability to become a pro on the game. Why don't you include these people in your article? You could have produced something inspirational and motivational for all disabled people in the world. You could have told them that disabilities are not their limits in order to achieve anything. Instead, you coddle them, you treat them like a baby, and you use them as a shield to push an agenda. Isn't that in and of itself ableist? While we're talking about disabled people, I highly recommend you guys to play Katawa Shoujo, as if I haven't shielded this game enough. No, this isn't like Doki Doki, this is a straight visual novel, a free visual novel, and you're going to date girls who are disabled. Intrigued? Link in the description if you haven't played it. I bring this game up because my first route, and one of my favorite routes, is Emmy. She is an athlete. Look at those legs. Do you think those legs stop her on being a runner? Her character is all about Git Gud. If she can be a runner, why can't you? I cannot imagine her reaction if you say that Git Gud is ableist right to her face. Knowing her, she would probably throw a smug anime girl.